Hey guys, what is up? This is Cody, or xCodeh. How's it going today? Hopefully everybody watching this video is having yourself a snazzy day. I think this is hands down the most exciting, crazy day of my entire life. The story starts out, I believe I was a sophomore in high school, so I was about 14 or 15 years old. It was a warm spring morning. I hop off the bus, and what did I do every day when I hopped off the bus? Immediately leave school and go smoke a cig. This was a pretty normal thing for me and all my friends. At this point, the school didn't really care about it. We'd get off the bus, go right across the crosswalk, go to the tree stump, smoke cigs, come back, and everything was fine. So I meet up with a couple friends around the tree stump. We're all smoking cigs, having a good time. And then I see a group of kids coming from down the path. And whenever you see a group of people down the path, you know they were smoking weed. You know they have weed on them. They have a bowl, something on them. So I kind of go up to them. I'm like, yo. Got the sketchy mode on. Dude, any of you guys got weed? Let me get a hit. They're like, nah, sorry, we're all out. We just smoked it all. Nah. So I didn't get to smoke weed, which was unfortunate. But one of the people that was in this group was a really good friend of mine. So I kind of just tagged along with him. And I don't know how long you guys have been a part of my channel, but you might remember some of the just absurd life stories on my channel, like stealing a fire extinguisher from a church. Listen. Whenever anything crazy like that would happen, it would always be with this one character. And this was like the dawn, like the start of it all. It was today. So I don't remember whose idea it was, but I remember talking with him and we decided on skipping school. It's a really nice day outside. Why are we gonna sit inside in class? Let's have fun. That was our game plan all throughout high school. The first kind of stretch of the day was a little bit boring because we got, 7:30 to like 11 in the morning. You know, they used to feed us fucking lunch at 11 in the morning for whatever reason. So all we had to do was wait to 7:30 to 11. And then things got a little bit more fun because people would come across the street during lunch. So, you know, we could smoke then and just have a good time. Either of us had weed at this point. So this first stretch was kind of boring, but I remember we just kind of walked up and down the path and went towards like there's like a state park that's kind of near, like down the path, there's a state park. So we kind of went there, chilled out. And by the time we got back to the tree stump, it was around 11 o'clock. You want to know what the best part about skipping school is? Going back to school, getting free lunch, and then leaving again. So we waited for the first or second lunch period or lunch wave to be going on. Everybody's outside and we're like, all right, let's go. Mission impossible, we got this. We kind of scurry across the crosswalk. We had called somebody to go and prop the door open. We run inside and everything's smooth. We walk inside like nothing happened. There's a bunch of kids walking around the hallways, so we kind of blend in like we're trying to follow people in Assassin's Creed. Listen, I just have to say, why would I go back to school for a school lunch? I'm sure a lot of you guys are wondering that. My school had some banger lunch, all right? There's like 5 different lines. First line, main course, you know, whatever they had for lunch that day. Brunch for lunch or something like that. Second line, wrap line, the one I always used to go to. It was like fucking Subway. You get chicken wraps with bacon. Michelle Obama had to take the bacon away one year, but it's okay. Well, let's get past that. Whole wheat chicken patties. What the fuck is that? Third line, mac and cheese, cheeseburgers, hamburgers, spaghetti. Fourth line, taco line. And then fifth line, we had a salad bar. So I got my wrap, my chicken wrap, kind of met up with my friend again after the line, and we just started our venture back towards the crosswalk. We're about halfway to the crosswalk. Me being an absolutely sketchy 14-year-old, I'm looking all around, you know, making it look, oh, this is fucking sketchy as hell. Like, oh shit, you know, someone watching us, oh god. Like, I wish I was exaggerating, but I literally was that sketchy as when I was 14. Like, it was bad. We're just walking to the crosswalk, couple steps from mankind, and we're free. And then we hear the signature, the classic, hey! What are you doing? It's iconic, really. I need to put it on a t-shirt. We both whip our heads around and it's the security guard. He's fucking full throttle the golf cart all the way to us. We just kind of like, oh, fuck that. We just kind of go across the crosswalk. He can't make it across. That's what we think, at least. We kind of scurry over to the tree stump and just watch what's about to happen. We see the security guard just fucking book it across the crosswalk. This guy bumps the golf cart over the curb onto the dirt path and comes up to us. We're sitting there with our lunches in our hands like, what the fuck's happening right now? And he's like, all right, guys, come on, get back to school. You know, you can't be doing this. And we're like, nah, we're not doing that. Nah, we're eating our lunch over here. Because at this point, like I said, it was kind of like a normal thing to go across the street. Like, the school didn't care that much, but I was pretty young compared to my friend. And I think they thought my friend was giving me a bad influence, which was probably accurate. But listen, the security guard was not having it today. He was like, all right, guys, come on, get back to school. And we're like, nah, nah. And he's just like, oh, okay, we'll see about that. And he gets on his walkie-talkie. He calls the dean of students. And the good old dean comes by. We're about halfway through the lunch. We're still eating our lunch, like as this entire ordeal goes on. The dean comes by. Every time I say the word dean, I think of the Iron Giant. I think I've explained to you guys what the dean of students was like a couple times in my videos, but this guy was a giant pushover. He had a big lisp. No one took him seriously. He was such a nice guy, so I kind of feel bad talking shit about him, but he comes over, he's like, hey guys, you can't be doing this. Come on, bro, come on, get back to school. He'd always talk to us like he was a kid. And at this point, we're like pretty much done with our lunch. We kind of put the trays down, and we can start walking, start walking down the path, and the dean and the fucking security guard on the golf cart is kind of following, like trailing behind us, like, come on guys, come on, like, come back, you gotta go back to school. And we're like, no, see you later, we're gonna leave for the day, no, bye. And then the dean of the students is like, all right, I'm gonna have to call the police. And as soon as we hear that, we just start running. We just start running as fast as we can down this path. Like, oh shit, fuck that. Full adrenaline mode at this point. I was having such a good time. So at this point, we're kind of home free. We get down the path and they stop following us because we're running too fast. We know all the secret paths and how to lose people. And at this point, I'm just laughing, having a good time. But my other buddy is like kind of freaking out because he knows the situation we're in. Like, we're kind of trapped. If we keep going down the path, the cops are going to wait for us at the state park. And if we go back, the cops are going to be waiting by the tree stump. So I kind of get a little bit more scared myself, and we're trying to figure out what to do. We get the smart idea of going down one of the secret paths, going through this giant like neighborhood of condos. And we're going to try to go around the tree stump area and just try to make it away from the school. So the excursion begins. We're just going through the woods like it's a fucking rainforest adventure. It's not that deep in the woods. Like, we can kind of see the condo complex from where the path was, but it's still like treacherous. There's no path. We're going through bushes and shit, getting our clothes all dirty. We finally make it to the condo area, but like, we're not home free yet because now we're in like people's backyards looking extra sketchy, like we're robbing places or something. We finally make it to one of their driveways, which connects to like the road, which connects all of the condos, which is fine then. Even then, we're still looking sketchy. Like, what are a couple of kids middle of a school day doing, walking around someone's driveway? Sketchy. So we made it all the way to the entrance of this condo complex, and this is where the main road is. So we're like hearts bumping, looking every which way. Where are the cops, dude? They're waiting for us. Where's the cops? We wait for our moment where no cars are going by. We run across this main road, whipping through someone's backyard. We end up like towards this, it looked like a construction site, like they were mining something out, or like there's a bunch of construction trucks. And to our left, there's like someone's house and like the main road. We're just trying to do everything we possibly can to stay off the main road because we know the cops will find us in 30 seconds. So we make it past this construction site, and at this point, we have a decent distance from us in the school. There's probably like 4 or 5 businesses in between, so we feel like we're scotch-free. We feel like we're home free. So at this point, we're using the businesses and the houses on the side of this main road, and we're kind of just like going through their backyards, going through the back of the buildings, and just staying away from the main road. And I remember we ended up into this huge parking lot. I don't remember what the business or what it was, but I remember it was this huge parking lot. It was kind of near this really big stream. I don't know if it was a river. I think it was a big stream that led to a pond or something. I remember how I said he was a little older than me. Might have been a bad influence. This could have been a possibility, okay? He brought this idea to the table. Let's do a little car hopping and look for cigarettes. You don't know what car hopping is? It's nothing I suggest doing ever. But it's where you just go along to car doors, look for one that's open, and look for a pack of cigarettes. Obviously that people look for more than that, but that's all we really cared about at this point in time, was fucking smoking cigarettes. Very exciting, I know. So me being 14 years old and a pussy, I didn't do any of this. All I did was kind of be the lookout, look really sketchy, which is equally as illegal. I will always remember this, bro. He goes into this big Jeep. Like the doors aren't even locked. I mean, it's a fucking Jeep, dude. You can get right in. The windows were all the way down. This guy just hops in, opens the fucking center console, whips out 4 packs of Virginia Slims. The most weird looking cigarette of all time. It's like, they're like extra long, but like they're thinner than a pencil. Like they're ultra thin. They're like old lady cigarettes. I think if you were at a bar and you went outside and there was a bunch of bikers outside and you whipped out a Virginia Slim, I think they'd run you over with their motorcycles on the spot. I remember thinking we hit the jackpot. We got cigs, dude. Virginia Slims. We're sitting there smoking them. They don't even burn, like they don't even hit right. You take one hit and it's like half the cig's gone. And I was pretty content with that. But no. My friend wanted more. Okay, so he keeps going. He keeps going into cars, you know, pulling the little door handle. And then he gets to this one car that looks a little bit nice, you know, and he's pulling the door handle and then the car alarm goes off. It's fucking so loud, bro. There's no one in this parking lot except me and him. Loud ass car alarm goes off. I'm fucking panicked. My heart's racing at 1,000,000 miles an hour. What do we do? And he's just like, all right, let's go. We're running out of this parking lot. I look over and there's construction workers working on the road, like towards the entrance of this parking lot, and they all look at us. Like they literally all are just grilling us. They stop what they're doing and they're just fucking watching us. But honestly, there was no chance of them catching us. Absolutely no chance. We were ducking and weaving in between cars, and we made it out of that parking lot in probably 30 seconds. So the plunder, the loot of the car hopping. Once again, don't do that ever. The plunder, the loot. It was like 4 packs of Virginia Slims and like $6 in quarters. We make our way up towards the church that's in a lot of my stories, a lot of the stories. Actually, my last story that I uploaded, it's kind of funny. We go towards the same location that this happened in, really close to that wall spot. Like you go behind the wall to go smoke. There's that sewer pipe that I was talking about. We make it to this wall and we go down to the sewer pipe, and it was completely empty, completely dry. And back then you could kind of crouch down. Like you didn't have to crawl. You just had to duck your head a little bit and kind of like shimmy your legs on the side and kind of like just walk weird. But it would connect that spot all the way under the road to across the street. And we're trying to figure out a way to get from one side of the street to the other without the cops seeing us. And we get this perfect idea to go under through the pipe. Now, this is definitely not the smartest idea, because whenever we'd go through this pipe, because it was a solid couple 100 feet long, like you could see the other end, but it was like just a light in the distance. Every time about halfway through, we start getting lightheaded with these fumes. I don't know what it was. It was probably toxic, but hey. We make it to the other end of this pipe. I feel like I'm Indiana Jones. And as soon as we got over to that side, I kind of felt like we were safe. Like I didn't feel like the cops would be looking for us all the way over there. I figured they'd just be waiting for us to come back to school or just hanging out at the tree stump. So at this point, we're kind of by the pharmacy and the bus stop. And I remember our objective was to just get as far away from the downtown area as possible, because that's where all the cops are. My town has an absurd amount of cops for such a small town. There's got to be at least 30 cops. And we're walking down these wooden steps that lead to the bus stop. We're walking into the parking lot, and then we see this cop just whip into the turn. Like he sees us, whips into the turn. You can hear that fucking engine, that signature cop engine rev up, turning into the parking lot. We both see him and start running. The cop is pulling into the parking lot, and there's this school bus that's kind of parked with nobody in it. It's just kind of parked in the parking lot. We run towards the school bus. We use it as cover. The cop can't see us where we're behind the school bus, and he's pulling into the parking lot as we're running around the school bus, so he can't see exactly where we are. And he was fucking stupid for coming into the parking lot because there was no exit on the other side of the bus. So he thinks we're just hanging out on the other side of the bus, but we continue running outside of the parking lot, like over the curve outside of the parking lot. We make it to the bike path, and he realizes it, so he has to turn around, exit the parking lot. But at this point, we're already on the bike path. We have a couple different options. We can try to book it down the bike path and beat a police car, which is not happening, or just run directly into the woods, which was, you know, the only option. We run into the woods and we get stopped pretty quickly because there's about 5 feet of mud. I'll never forget this. My friend's in front of me and he takes one giant leap and his entire foot disappears into the dirt. And I'm going so fast that I don't have time to stop. I followed him. Both of my shoes just disappear into the mud. I'm freaking out. I'm like, oh fuck, I've seen movies like this. The cop's right behind us. We're about to get fucked. I look behind me and I just hear the cop car zoom past me. That same signature engine sound. I wish I could make it with my mouth, but I'm not a sound effects guy. I guess he just assumed that we just kept going through the woods. Maybe he couldn't see us. So I'm sitting there grabbing my friend by the arm, trying to get him out of the mud as fast as we can. He's losing his shoe, digging through the mud, trying to find it. It's like those fucking sandy levels from Super Mario 64. So we make it out of the mud, back back into the bike path, and we realize we can't stay on the bike path because that's where they know we are. So we kind of zigzag through the businesses, through the parking lots, and we make it towards this hardware store, which has like an open back to the store where you can kind of walk into it and just kind of look at stuff, and it kind of connects to the store. So we walk in towards this back entrance, and we're kind of just, walking through the aisles, kind of catching our breath, like figuring out what to do. We're in there for maybe 5-10 minutes. We say hi to the owner because he sees us, and he gives us this weird look, like, aren't you guys supposed to be at school? Like, kind of gives us that look, like, what are these guys doing here? He probably thought it was weird that, like, the lower halves of our body were completely muddy, dirty. We're walking through his store, probably making a mess. But he didn't say anything to us other than maybe hi. We were just about to leave. Like I said, we were there for maybe 5 or 10 minutes. We were just about to leave, and we hear a car pull up. Me and my friend are still inside, but the owner is kind of like on the outside area, and we hear him start talking to somebody. I peek out, peek around the corner. It's a police officer that was just chasing us. Could hear him clear as day now. We're looking for 2 kids that are running away from the school. Let's stop the madness. He didn't say that last part, but he definitely was looking for the 2 kids, looking for us. I thought it was over right then and there. The end of the fun. Why wouldn't this hardware store owner like, oh yeah, the kids are inside right there, officer, there you go. But to my surprise, the hardware store owner's like, no, I haven't seen him, officer, sorry. I'll never forget it. I gotta go back to that hardware store and give him some business. I hear the cops speed off into another direction. We both kind of walk out the back exit of the hardware store. We're still bobbing and weaving through businesses, trying to stay away from the road. There's this cool business with like an old abandoned train behind it, and we're like running past. I remember the sound of the pebbles that we're running through, and then this dude whips the door open to this train, like a literal fucking train car. He whips the door open. Hey, what are you doing, man? It's private property. And we're like, yo, sorry, we didn't know. I remember like thinking like, yo, I wasn't even trying to trespass, man. We're just trying to get through. So we finally make it to this plaza with like abandoned businesses. Like there used to be a bunch of businesses there. I think it was like a recreation center where like kids would go there. There'd be like dances and stuff, and there was like 4 just empty businesses and then a pizza shop at the end. And we make it here, and I'm with my friend who's just Mr. Check all the doors, I guess. So he's just checking all the doors, and boom, one of them's open. We open the door, and immediately it's air conditioned. So fucking nice. It's hot as hell outside. We've been running around from the cops, sweating. The AC feels fucking great. But listen, I'd be lying to you if this place wasn't scary, all right? It's like Luigi's Mansion. If you open the door, it's this long, dark hallway. All the lights are off. It's an abandoned business. There's nothing in it. It's like an abandoned office building or something. It's this long carpet hallway that just gets darker and darker at the end, to the point where you can't even see where it ends. So instead of finding out where that ended and participating in the haunted house, we kind of just chilled in the little office area on the carpet, kind of sat down away from the window and just kind of got our breath back, kind of chilled in the AC. And then we made the realization that we're very close to the pizza shop. So we got the, $6 and quarters or whatever we got from car hopping, went on over to the pizza shop, got a $1 slice. And this is the only place in the whole entire state, apparently, I don't know, that's what they told me as a kid, but the only place that you can get a can of soda for 75 cents. It's like $1.25 everywhere else or something. So I got my 75-cent can of Fanta Orange and my shitty $1 slice that was probably frozen. Went back into the AC. It was great. Had a great time. So after the pizza, we decided to venture on, continue the journey, get away from the downtown, get as far as I possibly could. We had a destination in mind. It was more so the lake that a lot of my life stories happened at, just because it was far away from the town. It was kind of bordering another town, so we feel like the cops wouldn't be waiting for us there, and we also had some friends that lived kind of near there. So after this, I think we were more bold about it. Like, we were doing a lot of bobbing and weaving, but I think we thought we had waited enough time. It was getting towards the end of the school day at this point as well. Like, it was maybe 1 o'clock. School ended at about 2:15, 2:30. So at this point, we're like, all right, they're probably not looking for us anymore, Like, let's just be a little bit more bold. We hop right on the bike path, and we make it all the way towards where the bike path kind of enters like this hall of trees. Like, there's just a tree canopy over the bike path where no one would be able to see us, even from the road. We make it all the way to the entrance to the canopy of trees. And the moment we get there, we're like, damn, we did it. We fucking made it. The cops aren't gonna find us at this point. We're good. We skipped school. We ran from the cops. Everything turned out. We even got some pizza, ate it in some AC. Day couldn't have gone any better. This bike path goes on for probably a mile or two at the most. And then there's this intersection that connects it to the other side of the bike path. Like the bike path kind of goes in the crosswalk and goes across the intersection and continues on. And that's the section that leads towards the lake where we're trying to go. And we're walking up towards this intersection. There's a parking lot where cars can park and just start going on the bike path. What do we see? What do we see there? Couple cops just chilling, just waiting for us, dude. They knew what we were doing, bro. They had an idea. They're pretty fucking smart. See the cop get out of the car, walk up all slow, hand on his hip, you know, typical I'm a fucking badass police officer, you know, stance. And now listen, I don't remember if he said, let's stop the madness, but he walks up to us and he's like, all right, boys, it's time to go back to school. The fun's over. And at this point, man, we had greasy, shitty pizza in our stomachs. We had been running around all day, sweating. Fuck it. Why not? Why the fuck not? I could use a ride home from the bus. He looks at my friend and he's like, I know your parents don't care where you are or what you're doing right now, so you can walk home. But Cody, get in the back of my car. I wanted to hang out with him after school and like continue the day, but nope. Had to get in the back of the fucking cruiser's car, get a ride back to the school. And I thought I was just gonna get onto the bus. And they're like, no. They dropped me off at the front of the school and they're like, all right, you got to meet your teachers in this specific room, which was like the room that was like the trailer that my classes were in, like outside of the school, the special ed program, that people like to call it in the comments. I walk up to the trailer, the dean of the students, the vice principal, like a bunch of teachers, like pretty much like the whole administration was chilling at a table waiting for me. I sit down and they're like, Cody, we're real disappointed in you. You ran from the dean. You ran from us. You ran from the cops all day. What do you think you're doing? What do you think this is? You come to school to learn. And I'm sitting there just smiling, looking down. We're going to have to give you some out-of-school suspension for this. And I'm like, that's cool with me. I truly didn't give a fuck about punishments. Detentions, I'd just skip them and turn into an ISS. You skip those, it turns into an out-of-school suspension. You get a couple days off school. Big deal on your permanent record, but all that, you know, listen, I wasn't there for that, all right? Listen, I was there for a good time. So my dad was very mad. He's very, very mad. There's a lot of times where like he's just disappointed in me, but he was pretty fucking mad. I remember that this time. The cops were looking for us all day, so my dad was pissed. There's a lot of times in my life where I did things like getting caught smoking weed and all that, and he was just disappointed, but definitely fucking very mad. My dad's job was interrupted because the school kept calling him all day and like making him worry. It was just a terrible time. So that was the story when I skipped school and ran from the police with my good friend. I think I'm gonna have to make a vlog where I go and reenact this entire day. Let's say 15,000 likes, then I'll go and do that. Please leave a like on the video if you guys enjoyed and subscribe for more with the notifications on. And thank you to each and every one of you guys supporting me on Patreon. For $1 or $2 a month, you can support the channel and get access to the secret smoking videos that I've been making. Here's a list of all the names on screen right now. A lot of people. Thank you very much for the support. Obviously, looking back on it, running from the police is definitely not a good idea. This could have gone a lot of different ways. As all my videos. I'm not trying to be good guy xCodeh, you know, Mr. Preacher over here, but stay safe, man. I never want anybody to do something crazy because one of my videos and then get hurt. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I hope you have a snazzy day. Stay high, stay lifted, and follow my cat on Instagram.